Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So every every cryptographic scheme is equivalent to a channel generation scheme. So no one's ever written that up.
Okay, maybe not. But the problem, well, in our chain in particular, there aren't any unpublished channels because every channel goes in a block, and all the new blocks are easy to find.
Yeah, that's correct. But I guess what I'm saying is that like there's a theoretical correspondence, and then you want to look at that level, right? And then you want to look at these details, like if you don't have to know that a channel exists to know that a message has been sent, right? So there are all kinds of ways in message sending that you can monitor other extraneous information that allows you to ferret out certain information, and that you want to look at what that corresponds to cryptographically, and then finally, there's not, because they're interconvertible, you can always combine them, right? So you can combine cryptography with channel sending or message passing, and then know that. In other words, what I'm imagining is a two-way compiler. So I start with a row calculus program, and I convert certain new constructs into cryptographic encodings.
Right, key generation or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly, and vice versa. I start with so probably the best way to do this is with Gordon's pi calculus. So he has a version of the pi calculus that he adds key generation and encrypting to as primitives in the calculus.
Yeah, doing offline capabilities has been written up quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. But what I'm suggesting is like a two-way compiler, right? So that you can go from cryptographic to just new generation, and from new generation to encryption. So I think that would be the simplest way to make the point, right? It's a folklore understanding. Like, I think most people know this, but nobody's ever written up the results to the point where it's functioning code.
Yeah, they have, but I mean, not
Really?
not in the pi calculus setting. In the object capability settings, they have.
Right. No, but what I'm talking, because object capability is hand wavy, right? There's no formal operational semantics.
Sure, there is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not operational, but anyway, there's as many formalisms as you care to, they establish all the relevant results.
Oh, okay.
I mean, at least it's confidentiality and integrity and blah, blah, blah.
They're guaranteeing properties above the core object capabilities, but nobody said what the object capabilities are. Like, they haven't given a denotational or operational semantics. They're assuming those things, and then proving the properties that they give you. But you wanna semantics of those things in the first place. And pi or rho is like the simplest way to give those semantics.
Okay, well, there's plenty of papers with, here's my cut down version of JavaScript and the formal semantics for it, and here's the properties of capabilities.
Okay, so they do it in Lambda.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if we had a bulk encryption widget in Rolang in our node, would that be sort of enough? Or
yeah, I mean, I think we've got all the pieces. I'm just talking about, like, we can certainly implement it now, and I think most of it's done, right? Because we've got by bulk you mean like here's this container of stuff, encrypt it all.
Right.
Yeah. I think we've got that. I'll ask Tomislav, but yeah, that should be sufficient, right? That's the building block like you need.
Yeah.
But then once you have that, then it becomes this sort of nice tool that you've got to refactor. So you can write things down entirely in one form, like entirely in terms of new constructs, right? And you check that from a behavioral types, like you use your behavioral types to prove that this community never gets this secret, right? And then and then you do the compilation from that to the encryption scheme, and that maintains the property. You see what I'm driving at?
Sure.
I think that's like super powerful, right? Nobody's done that as far as I know.
I think it's time to go, but
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
We have to be able to do off-chain transactions, and
Yeah,
that's why I'm been trying to get people interest in.
Yeah, I think what he's talking about is a general. Anyway, I think I know what you're talking about, Greg.
yeah. It's a general purpose mechanism for and like getting end-to-end proof that your cryptography at compile time, that your cryptography is never ever going to allow a certain community to hack it.
Right.
Regardless of, all right. Ciao, ciao.
You have to keep the secret somewhere. Anyway. Okay, so if you're a registered voter, you can stick your avatar in the list, or maybe just your avatar is in the list. Oh, Jim, are you still there?
No,
That's interesting.
just Yumi, Ral, and Steve.
So some people have talked about these W3C decentralized identity standards, which to me are completely vacuous. But there are some cases where we need to write some things down, and if we just borrowed their syntax, we could wave our hands in the direction of open standards. Okay, use JSON. There are lots of words that say use JSON. That was it. They don't say what you should put in the JSON. They just say use JSON. This is just pervasive in these decentralized specs. Maybe they've got some examples documents, a primer or something.
constitutes identity?
Sorry?
I mean, it's fine to say that what constitutes identity is different in different contexts. So maybe they're just focusing on the decentralized side of things here, right, in the standard.
Right, but a standard should be able to separate things that conform from things that don't conform in a useful way, right? You just saw that the document I was looking at did not do that beyond saying use JSON, right? It's a great big long document that says use JSON. Well,
Yeah.
and here it says you have to put UUID in the front of it. Oh, no, you don't. You have to put, DID in front of it. For, I don't know why. I don't know why you can't just start with RHO. I actually raised that as an issue, and they said, because we want to. The group has consensus. Where is the format? Okay, did documents. The did context, the RDF vocabulary of property names defined in the did specification. Okay, here we are, core properties. Capability delegation. All right, also known as, is kind of nice. You could list your Twitter handle and stuff. Yeah, it'd be nice to build Keybase, right? You guys seen Keybase?
Yeah.
But Keybase was taken over by somebody recently, right?
Right. Hence, it would be nice to have a version of Keybase running on RChain. We need HTTP oracles in order to do it, but. Yeah, the verification methods never come down to anything that you could test. They're like, you should put bits here. Anyway.
Yeah, apparently Zoom bought Keybase.
Yeah. I guess here's a way to publish our public keys if somebody chose to. Anyway, these are things we could put in our we could implement these things. We have to put DID : in front of it. I guess we should go register RHO as a did thingy. Or I could just put RHO there and thumb my nose at them because it doesn't make any difference. Oh, yeah, by the way that these things make a difference, there's some references to verifiable claims in here. The interesting thing is when basically identity services basically come down to insurance contracts. So you might have something in here that says the person's over 13 or over 21. And as a consumer of that, you're never quite certain, right? What you want as a consumer of that is a bond that says, I'm gonna operate under the expectation that this person's over 21, and if it turns out they're not, then I get to collect on this insurance policy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then the issuer of the policy is somebody who is in-person contact, like, you know, if you're doing something like a government office or just, you know, your church or whatever the heck, you meet people in person,
Right.
then you're in a good position to make those bets that some, you know, I've met Bob, he's clearly over 21.
Right.
Bob, I'll take a bet that Bob's over 21.
Ah, interesting.
So you basically use betting and auctions or whatever as insurance policies.
Okay. That's a neat neat functionality.
All right, I think I should go build a little sprinkle reputation karma on robots thing.
Okay. So I guess we'll see everybody later on this evening at the annual general meeting.
I guess so, although I don't go to meetings without agendas. There isn't an agenda published.
Well, its agendas is we'll be providing the voting results, going over the financials, and then a general discussion, or Greg will be
I guess review the past year and plan for the
review the
next
past
year.
year. Right. So
And then you guys presentation.
If we come up with something worth presenting. All right, we'll see.